So this is the clay that we're working with. It really is the same clay as this. This is an example of a fired piece. So the clay turns a different color when it's been fired at a high temperature in an oven called a kiln. And this is a completed fired piece. You can hear it sounds like glass. This is what your clay looks like when it's wet. So the first thing we're going to do is take your little brick, maybe make it into a rough ball, because it really does not have to be in a ball or a perfect sphere. All right, and we're going to put it into one palm like this, and we're going to start patting it into the shape of a tortilla or a pancake. To about that size. Taking one of your paper towels, put it down on your work surface. You do not want to roll out wet clay onto your kitchen counter or a placemat or a wood table, because it'll stick. Whenever you use a rolling pin, it'll stick, and you'll have to tear it off, and that's not nice to have to do, because it means you'll probably have to start over. So we're using paper towels on the bottom, and then we're sandwiching the clay between one paper towel and two paper towels. Grab your rolling pin, and we're going to start gently putting some pressure and rolling in one direction. Take a look, see what that looks like. You can see it's in an oval because I was rolling vertically, right? Now we're going to take our clay, our paper towel, and flip it and put our paper towel back down on it and keep rolling vertically, but this time it's going to change the shape of your slab into more of a circle, less of an oval. Nothing too hard. Don't press too hard down on your clay. Oop. All right. And sometimes that happens. See that right there? My paper towel started to come off onto the clay because it got really moist and wet from the clay. If that happens, flip it over. Use the other side of the towel on directly on the clay, or get another paper towel. And if you get paper into your clay, don't worry about it. The kiln will burn it off, so don't try and dig it out with your fingers or your toothpick or anything. You'll want to just leave it alone. I know it looks ugly, but I promise when you get it back, it won't have any paper on it. All right, so this is not a perfect circle. I don't want you guys to try and worry about getting an absolutely perfect circle, you know, because this is what we call an organic shape, and that just means that it, when we look at it, we know that it wasn't made by a machine. It was made by someone's actual hands. And that's a beautiful thing about pottery, is that it reminds us that it was made by a human with hands, maybe someone we know. And it's a beautiful artifact for that reason. So do not try and get to a perfect circle. This is a lovely sort of oval with a slight tinge of circularness. You can see this also right here doesn't have a fully rounded side, and I kind of like that about it. All right, now the next step, I know you can see here there's a lot of lines and wrinkles. That's from the paper towel, right? Don't worry about them right now. Leave them alone for right now. Oh, and also let's take a look at the thickness. You see how thick that is? We're shooting for the width of a pencil. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Don't do it any thicker or any thinner than that. Both thicker and thinner might cause cracks in the process of it becoming a permanent piece when it dries or when it gets in the kiln. Try and shoot for the width of a pencil. Okay, see that? All right, I'm pretty happy with this shape. I'm pretty happy with the thickness. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like. This is the botanical specimen that I grabbed. It's a lantana branch with leaves. It doesn't have flowers. It's currently still on its stem, which it's up to you if you want to put your botanical piece onto your clay with the stem. That can look really pretty. We can also put remove the leaves just by snapping them off. I would encourage you to leave the little part of the stem here, because it'll help you pull the leaf out of the clay later. All right, and then you can start thinking about, well, do I want to have them down at the bottom? Do I want to have them floating in the middle? Do I want to have them coming down? Do I want to have them all in a group or spaced out in a pattern? Right? You can do anything that you want. I have 4 leaves here because I have 4 very important people who live in my house who eat most of their meals with me. My partner Jacob and my 2 kids, Imogen and Waylon. So for me, these leaves represent our family together. Let's see. Do I like that? I'm not sure. All right, I think I like this. You know why? I think it looks like the leaves are falling off of a tree. They're kind of in a slight breeze and they're just falling. That's what I imagine that looks like. So now that I kind of know what my design is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them off. And I'm going to start smoothing the clay with my finger lightly. You're going to want to just drag it gently across the surface, just to get some of the bigger wrinkles out from paper towel. Leaves back. Now we're going to place our paper towel back down. I flipped it because it got a little bit wet and yucky on this side, so I flipped it. This is the nicer, drier side. It's going to touch the clay. Gently give it a little press. And then we're going to use the roller again, but super gently, all right? Because if you start pressing really hard, it's going to change the shape of your trivet, and it's going to thin out the clay again. And you want to keep it as thick as it is right now, because that's about a 1/4 inch, right? Gentle pressing. All right. Now I know we have wrinkles again from the paper towel, so we're going to do a little more smoothing, but do not take your leaves out to smooth it, because we're smoothing around the leaves, and if you take your leaves out, you're going to start taking away some of the nice veining and texture that happened from the imprint. So leave the leaves in your clay and start smoothing again. Lots of smoothing in ceramics. All right, I feel pretty happy with that, actually. And I also want you to remember to smooth around the edge right now which means take your finger gently around the edge like this. That's going to smooth it out. All right, now it's the moment of truth when we can take the leaves out. If I can find my toothpick. Of course, I lost my toothpick. Okay, so I'm going to use my fingers. Don't use your fingers. Where did my toothpick go? Ah, so frustrating. Sometimes that happens. But I have a beautiful piece of artwork here, so I'm going to stay calm and not get frustrated, or acknowledge that I feel frustrated and say that's okay to feel frustrated. All right, so when you have a toothpick, you can nicely and gently pull the stem off. Start with the stem and pull the leaf like this, right? Doesn't that look beautiful? Be very patient with yourself and your piece at this point, because you made something really beautiful at this point and you don't want to get wild and go too quick. No, that one's going to get a little bit of gouge. But yours won't do that because you will have a toothpick. There we go. All right. Doesn't that look nice? All right. Now see, the last step I'm not going to do for you right now, but I'm going to tell you to do it because you need to wait like I'd say 45 minutes to an hour to do this step, which is to write your name on the back. Right now, if you lift it up and flip it over and start writing your name with your toothpick, it's floppy. The wet clay is super floppy. I'll show you. It's going to lose its shape. You don't want it to lose its shape at this point. Give it an hour of dry time, and then write your name, first name, last name, and your teacher's name on there with your toothpick. All right? And this is it. You're done. It's a beautiful little trivet. Trivets are something that you put a serving dish or a hot plate on top of at your dinner table. So whatever holidays you're enjoying this fall, I hope that you're able to share this trivet with the people that you love the most and who love you the most. Have fun and take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself.